Karen Reed led into court in handcuffs. She pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder in the death of her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe.
And how do you wish to plead to those indictments?
Reed's defense lawyer sharing these pictures of the couple during happier times. Prosecutors believe Reed hit him with her SUV outside the home of a Canton police officer after a night of drinking. It happened during a January snowstorm.
In the same area where the body had been recovered, 2 red plastic pieces of a taillight were located, consistent to the pieces missing from the defendant's black Lexus.
Tears in court as the prosecutor described the medical examiner's findings, including 2 black eyes, skull fractures, and hypothermia.
She opined from her examination that the significant blunt force trauma injuries occurred prior to Mr. O'Keefe's becoming hypothermic.
Reed's lawyer flagging what he says are ethics problems. He says the investigating trooper is friends with the Canton officer who owns the home where O'Keefe was found.
We have uncovered that the lead detective is very close with the owners of that property. And he was supposedly assigned to the case to avoid the appearance of impropriety.
He also made the claim that evidence may have been doctored, though he did not elaborate.
We have photographic evidence that my client's vehicle, before it was taken by the police, was in different condition than when the police actually evaluated it.
Said it feels we're the only ones fighting for the truth of what happened to John O'Keefe. And me and my family and my attorneys and my team have marshaled every resource to get to the truth. It just feels like no one else wants it.
Karen, just to be clear, you didn't do it.
We know who did it, Steve. We know. And we know who spearheaded this cover-up. You all know.
Yes, we do.
And no, she didn't do it. No, she didn't do it. This is an innocent woman. She didn't do it.
I tried to save his life.
Yeah.
I tried to save his life at 6 in the morning. I was covered in his blood. I was the only one trying to save his life.
Why do you admit to it?
She didn't admit to it. She didn't admit to anything close to that. Nothing close to that. And you should know that.
That was like 3 or 4 times she admitted to it.
No, she didn't.
That's not true.
She asked a question. She asked a question, which is very different. She didn't admit to anything. Folks, this is what it looks like when you bring false charges against an innocent person. The Commonwealth did their worst. They brought the weight of the state based on spurious charges, based on compromised investigation and investigators and compromised witnesses. This is what it looks like. And guess what? They failed. They failed miserably, and they'll continue to fail. No matter how long it takes, no matter how long they keep trying, we will not stop fighting. We have no quit. Go ahead.
I just have 2 things to say, folks. Number one, I am in awe of the strength and courage of this remarkable client that I've had the privilege of representing since day one. And number 2, I want to send a message to all of her supporters out there. Your support was invaluable. We are touched, and we ask for your continued support. I'm not from Texas like my colleague here. I'm a Boston kid. But I'll repeat what he said, which is, we ain't got no quit.
Mr. Foreman, on docket number 2218 CR 117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant found guilty or not guilty? So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you? No. Do you agree? Yeah. Do all of you agree? Yeah. Thank you. 002, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty? Is not guilty or guilty of that charge or any lesser included charge? Thank you. Specifically, number 5, operating under the influence of liquor by operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. Correct? So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you all? 003, what say is the defendant at the bar leaving the scene after accident resulting in death? The defendant not guilty or guilty? So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you all? Jurors, hearken your verdict as the court records that you upon your oath say the defendant on 001 is not guilty, on 002 is guilty of operating in the influence of liquor, and 003 not guilty. Thank you.
All right, jurors, everybody please be seated. Jurors, we thank you for your service. We're going to send you back. Your service is complete. I'd like to come back and talk to you for a little bit afterwards. So thank you very much.
All rise. You call me.
number one is I could not be standing here without these amazing supporters who have supported me and my team financially and, more importantly, emotionally for almost 4 years. And the second thing I want to say is no one has fought harder for justice for John O'Keefe than I have and my team. Thank you.
And here we are. And here we are. Welcome into the show. Welcome into the live show, the pregame show here on LTL Media. I don't know. I guess a very exciting night. I've never been, I guess, this anticipated in anticipation for a Lifetime movie in my entire life. I always thought like Lifetime movies is like, you know, you go over, you have Sunday dinner with your parents, or, you know, in my case, I go hang out at my mom's house on Sunday, have Sunday lunch or dinner. She's got Lifetime on. Yeah, it's one of those Christmas movies. But here we are. It's Karen Reed night, and it's funny, you know, every single time I feel like we get away from this, or it might create some distance from the trials, we get pulled back in. And we have two actually special events coming up. You have the Lifetime movie tonight that we're going to do the pregame, and we're actually going to watch it tonight. And I'm going to show you how we can watch that. And I'm going to watch it with you guys. And I'll be telling you about that in a little while. And then obviously on Monday, excuse me, Karen is going to be doing, I think it's a 2 hour or 2.5 hour. And I might have that wrong, but I think it was 2 or 2.5 hours sit down on the Rotten Mango channel. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be on Monday. Not sure of what time it's going to drop. I haven't heard of the time. And I have to say, they've had some brilliant marketing around that. And I'm sure you saw the little YouTube shorts they put out with the cameras going back and forth. And you're like, all right, what are they going to say? So it's drawn me in. I know it's drawing you in. It's going to be really exciting to watch that. I can't wait to see what Karen's going to talk about during that interview. And I am super, super excited. So I don't know. I don't have high expectations about this Lifetime movie today. And I put a poll in the chat, and I asked, you know, how accurate do you think the Lifetime Karen Reed movies Accused is going to be? And we had some votes. So far, we've had 277 votes, and 6% of you think that it's going to be very accurate. Let's see, 40% of you think somewhat accurate. 39% said mostly inaccurate. And then we have 15% that say completely inaccurate. So I'm going to keep that poll up through the remainder of the pregame show here. And we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun here. I want to go through the media tour because, in my opinion, looking at this media tour for the movie, this Lifetime movie has been a fucking disaster. I don't think that it couldn't gotten any worse. And I'm kind of like wondering the question, and I wish someone would have asked this on one of these panels, is you have Katie Cassidy that said that she was called by Lifetime and had like 72 hours to prepare for this part. So then you start thinking, and this is just my opinion, who the hell was the person they prepared this for? Did they drop out at the last minute? Maybe their agent, their lawyer stepped in and said, hey, we don't want to touch this. We have nothing to do with it. And then Katie Cassidy was called upon, because I just find it strange that she had 72 hours to prepare for this. She didn't like immerse herself in the role. She didn't reach out to Karen or Karen's team to like learn about any of the background. She actually, I think, said in one of these interviews that her friends informed her, and she said that she didn't know about the case. It's completely weird and strange, but I feel like it's been a complete disaster. Let's do this before we get into, we're going to look at an article, and then we're going to play through some of the media tour. And then I'm going to show you how you can watch this along with me tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I will sit through the 2 hours with you guys, and we can conversate about it. And I think it's going to be great. So let's see. Let's go up to the chat real quick. Lizzie says, we ain't going to quit. Yeah, it was a great feeling to go back through that kind of montage that I put together and kind of the history of the two trials and see how it was and how, ultimately how it landed, and, Karen be fully acquitted. So thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Let's see. Oregon checking. Where's everybody from tonight? Let me know where you're from. Portland's here. Let's see. Lifetime is low budget. I don't think it will be accurate. I don't either. I think a lot of it is going to be portrayed on media, court documents, how this all played out in the media. And that's usually how these things go. So they don't have to actually reach out to someone and have to, talk to them for their story. and pay for their story. So that's usually how these all go. I am going to show the movie. I'm going to talk about that in a couple of minutes on how you can do that and watch that along with me. So it will be a watch party. And I've done these in the past. They worked out really well. Hopefully it works out this time. And I can't say there's going to be any guarantee that we're going to get through it, but we shall try. Juliet says, let's go. Awesome. Love that. Tonight should be good. Yep. 2.5 hours. Yeah. 2.5 hours. The Rotten Mango. That's what I thought. It was either 2 or 2 hour. Hey, bestie. How are you, Nan? How are you? Good to see you. Let's see. Who else we got? I got it all queued up. You don't have to do that. You can watch along tonight. Everybody's saying on Hulu. They're going to watch on Hulu. I got another way. Adam Teeper Legal in the room. Nice to see you. Alexander's here. I pray that it's a good movie, unlike the documentary. I wouldn't get high hopes. I just wouldn't do that. You know, we got to go into it with the lowest expectations and maybe come out of it and go, all right, it wasn't that bad. Oh, I love it. Look at all these people checking in. Michigan, upstate New York, Tampa, Montreal, Cape Cod, Mass, Philly, New York City. A lot of Florida. Look at this. A lot of Florida. Canada, my Canadian friends checking in. Woburn. Pennsylvania. Hey, Western Pennsylvania. Did you hear about that guy that was out there grave robbing? That's wild. I just saw that story. I was reading about that. Did you hear about that? Maybe that's something that we'll talk about on the channel. Yeah, like literally had corpses on display. It was grotesque. Colorado, Australia checking in, California, Western Mass, St. Pete, Indiana, Roanoke, Virginia. I thought the montage was great. Virginia, Vancouver, Washington checking in, Worcester, New Jersey, Nancy from the depths of hell, Indiana. Let's see. UK checking in. Nice to see you. Louisiana, Tennessee, Providence. Yes, I know. Alexander's from Providence, Louisiana. Tewksbury. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. San Diego. Hello, how are you? Newburyport checking in from Oz, the great and powerful Oz. All right, let's do this. Let's pull up San Diego, Tennessee, Atlanta, England, Nova Scotia, Arkansas, New Hampshire, Minnesota. Those Minnesotans. Johnston, Rhode Island, Palm Beach, Florida, Vermont. I used to live up in Montpelier way back in the day for like a year, 2 years. Fairhaven, Louisiana, Western Mass, Weymouth, Alberta, Canada. Look at a lot of Canadian friends tonight. Denmark checking in. Utah, North Carolina, Utah, Southie, Canton. Look at this. Canton checking in. Maine, Louisiana. A lot of people from Florida. Maine, Barrie, Massachusetts, Michigan, Nantucket. I once knew a guy from Nantucket. Rainin, Leominster, New England in the house. Virginia, West Virginia. Love it. Rhode Island. Hello. A lot of people. Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Leslie, thank you for becoming a new member. That's the one thing that you guys will learn here. For content on my channel, I don't force people into memberships, but I appreciate you becoming a member. Aria, thank you for becoming a new member. Thank you so much. Ontario, Toronto. All right, let's get this article up. We got about another 45 minutes or so. We'll wrap up here in probably about 10 minutes so we can get ready to do the live stream. All right, let's look at this article. So what are we looking at this night? What can we predict? What do we think is going to happen? From what I'm understanding, that it's going to be centralized around the first trial. So what the Lifetime Times New Karen Read movie gets right and what it gets wrong. So it's been nearly 4 years since Karen Read found her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, in the snow in the front lawn of the fellow officer's Canton home. But the Read phenomenon shows no signs of slowing down. It never will. I mean, this will be talked about for ages, with several adaptations of her story in the works, including a forthcoming series starring Mass native Elizabeth Banks. Lifetime is throwing its hat in the ring on Saturday when The Accused, Karen Read's story premieres. It's largely faithful telling the saga surrounding Reed, which began with O'Keefe, died on January 29, 2022, and led by two widely watched criminal trials. Reed was acquitted in June of all charges having to do with O'Keefe's death. Katie Cassidy stars in Reed film with Luke Humphrey playing O'Keefe. Mass Live was provided an early copy of the film. So what accused the Karen Reed story gets right? Reed's panicked phone calls. The film depicts it seemingly hungover Reed's making its series of panicked phone calls on the morning of January 29, 2022, after she wakes up to find O'Keefe hasn't returned home in Canton. Reed calls two of the O'Keefe's friends, Jennifer McCabe and Carrie Roberts, and the three of them venture out to look for him. McCabe is later shown taking the stand during a dramatization version of Reed's trial. The red Solo cups. Police officers infamously use red Solo cups at the scene of O'Keefe's death to collect evidence, storing blood-soaked snow in cups. The film depicts reddish slush inside one of the cups. Those Proctor texts. Michael Proctor, former Massachusetts State Police trooper who led the criminal investigation to Reed, is depicted sending the unprofessional text messages about Reed and ultimately led to his firing. I hope we actually get to see this in the movie. That's one of the things I want to see, how they portray him actually doing this. In a group chat, friends from high school, Proctor called Reed a whack job. See you next Tuesday, adding that she was a babe with a weird Fall River accent. He is later seen being questioned about those texts on the stand during the Reed's trial. Aha, can't wait for that. Reed's voicemails after dropping O'Keefe off at 34 Fairview in Canton, where Reed would later be found. Reed left him several angry voicemails. Those voicemails including one where Reed says, "John, I blank hate you." We're a central part of the evidence against Reed in criminal trials. In the film, actor playing prosecutor Adam Lally, who is not named, asked for the voicemails to be played out loud. The cursing was removed. The verdict reached, then withdrawn. Jurors during the retrial did actually alert court officers that they had come to a verdict, then swiftly changed their minds and reported they no longer had a verdict. It was a dramatic enough moment that the script didn't have to even fake it. What the accused, the Karen Reed story, gets wrong: the police response. At the scene of O'Keefe's death, viewers clearly see Boston police officer collecting blood in red Solo cups. Though O'Keefe was a Boston officer, Canton police led the initial response and used the Solo cups. And then we have Turtle Boy. Aidan Carney, the blogger who goes by Turtle Boy online, is portrayed in the film as mostly mild-mannered advocate for peaceful protest in support of Reed, while Carney was arguably Reed's most fervent supporter. His methods were more confrontational than betrayed. Carney withheld what he dubbed rolling rallies and regularly accused McCabe of being murderers responsible for the death of O'Keefe, and has been since charged with numerous counts of witness intimidation for his conduct, in which his lawyers say is protected by the First Amendment. An omission: the film leaves out Liza Little, one of the lawyers who worked on Reed's defense. Little is a partner of Alan Jackson's Los Angeles, California law firm. Jackson headed up the Reed criminal defense. So strange and weird that they would leave Liza out. She was a very critical, intricate part into Karen's defense. Little was on the defense team for both trials of Reed's trials. While she didn't question many witnesses, she was responsible for writing many of the pretrial motions. Absolutely. The film spends most of its time portraying the first trial, meaning Robert Alessi, who joined the team ahead of Reed's retrial, is left out. So that's what it kind of is in a nutshell, what we're going to see. Not too sure, not too sure. I don't have super high expectations. I know. Why would you leave her out? I mean, she was very critical in Karen's defense. And like you said, she wrote a lot of those motions. She argued a lot of those motions. I mean, Katie Cassidy, I mean, yeah. I mean, I remember from Nightmare on Elm Street, I think 2010, the reboot. I mean, that's kind of her most notable. Let's see. She did Black Christmas, Taken in 2008, Monte Carlo in 2011, Kill for Me. I mean, I just was like, oh, wow, the Nightmare on Elm Street girl. And I think that she's more like a television star. Let's see. She's done The Division, Listen Up, Seventh Heaven, Supernatural, she was part of that for a year. Harper's Island, Melrose Place, Gossip Girl, New Girl, Arrow, The Flash. She appeared on Whose Line Is It Anyway? Legends of Tomorrow, The Royal Christmas Crush. So, I mean, a lot of those Hallmark movies, Lifetime stuff. I think that she got the look down. In my opinion, I think she looks somewhat like Karen. She got the hair down, which looks really good. Sturdy Girl, thank you so much for the $5. She says goals. Thank you. Hello, welcome in. Yep, it's on in 40 minutes. Thank you so much. Not today, Satan. Love that name. Not today, Satan. And I'll be dropping that link in a couple of minutes so you guys can get linked up and registered, and we'll go over and have a 2-hour watch party. All right, let's look at LA, CBS Los Angeles. We're going to look at this first, and I'm going to go to the Tamara Hall stuff because I'm going to be a little bit more critical there. Again, I listen, I think the media tour has been fucking terrible in this. I think they could have prepared a little bit better for this tour. You can kind of see Katie a little nervous in some of these interviews, in my opinion. I think almost during the Tamron Hall interview, she kind of even notes that to her, like, oh, you seem kind of nervous in this. So I don't know. Let's play through this. We'll see what happens.
Call 911! We need someone now. There's a guy. He's unresponsive in the snow. Just behind me is the location of the death of Boston police officer John O'Keefe.
You have the right to remain silent.
I loved this man.
Did you kill John O'Keefe? Karen Reed had nothing to do with it. She got drunk, she hit him, she left him to die.
Oh, it's a case that captured national headlines after a controversial trial
the
in
world.
Massachusetts. A Boston police officer found dead in a snowbank outside his friend's home, and his girlfriend is charged in connection to his death. Now the case is being retold in a new movie, Accused, the Karen Reed story.
This is going to be a good
All
one.
right, let me just do this in the chat. I'm going to ask, do you think Katie pulled off Karen's look? Do you think she looks like her? Let me know in the chat if you do. Give me a 1 if you think she does, or give me a 2 if you think that she looks nothing like her. Personally, I think she did a pretty good job. I think she looks like Karen. But let me know. What do you guys think? I think she's got the hair, she's got the clothes. I think she nailed it. I think she did well.
Actress Katie Cassidy plays Karen Reed in the film. She joins us to talk about the movie that is based on this widely followed murder case. Thank you so much for being with us. I was just saying, I love these stories where we
Ripped
cover
from the
them.
headlines,
Yeah,
yes.
they're in the headlines everywhere, and then you get a chance to see it all kind of play out because it happens over such an amount of time. You kind of forget some of the details. What was this like being able to take on a story like this?
I mean, it happened so quickly from when Lifetime approached me to, I think it was 72 hours by the time that I was filming. So
what? I did wonder because this is so quick.
Yeah,
to have
this is
come
very
out.
quick.
See, it leads me to believe, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about this behind the scenes. Like, who did Lifetime have lined up for this? I mean, is it weird for me to ask this question? How, like, they said that they reached out to her and she had 72 hours to prepare for this. That leads me to believe that they had someone in mind that was ready to go and probably preparing for this, and they backed out in the last minute. I mean, it's just my opinion. I mean, am I crazy to say that? Am I crazy to come up with this theory? Did someone back out? Did an actress have this and someone backed out at the last minute? And then they had to kind of call in an audible and make this happen, knowing that their shooting schedule's coming up. There's a budget. Let's see. Nan says, I think they picked her not for her talent, but for her resemblance. Paula thinks she agrees with me. Advocate says, hey, I'm sure you're right. They definitely had another actress. I think so too. And I think this kind of got thrown on Katie. And she's like, well, maybe I don't have so much going on at the moment. I can take this and tackle it. Feed me the script. Tell me, I think she said in another interview, like, I just kind of went to my friends and my friends told me about this story. So I didn't have time to research. So I'm just curious. I'm very curious to find out what the story is kind of behind this, and maybe more of it will come out later down the line as this gets promoted and more things come out. All right, let's keep playing through
We
here.
wrapped in November,
No
so it was
way.
very fast.
Were you familiar with the case?
I actually was not.
Okay.
Everybody else and their mother was.
Yes, it's like that sometimes. We're news people, so I
Yeah.
always like to be like, wait, did you know about this?
I didn't, but the second, we started talking with Lifetime, I
Went
got
down the
on-
rabbit hole.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I did a deep dive, and I was hooked. I mean, I understand sort of why America
Was
was
hooked.
hooked.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It's weird, and then she says, hey, I was hooked. And in one of the other interviews, and it's the Tamron Hall interview, I think she's asked, like, if you were in front of Karen, is there any questions that you would ask? Or, and she's like, oh, no, not really. And I'm like, all right. But you said that you were hooked into this. Okay.
Everybody has an opinion
Sure.
about this too, and I think that's what's interesting about this is that this isn't a 48 hours or some type of docu. This is a Lifetime production where you get to dramatize things a little bit or have it play out. So, what was that like for you, knowing there is so much public opinion out there to then play this role?
So I tried to I couldn't really think about it that way. Playing Karen,
Sure.
I had to think like
Karen.
Right.
So I couldn't really even let myself try to think about what the outside external world and their view, like I just tried to stay in it the
And
whole
the character,
time. Yeah. And then it's still, for me as an actor, normally I get a script, I do script analysis and build backstory. But in this case, it was like all that information that I would have created was already there and it was public knowledge. And I felt like a detective myself almost.
Right. That's I think why people like watching these
Yeah.
though, because then you turn into the detective and you decide what happened. A lot of people are going to watch this because they're familiar with the case from the headlines. Some will watch it because they watch every Lifetime movie. For people who aren't familiar with the case and are just watching because they're like, it sounds interesting, we skip
Exactly,
that part. Give us
Granny.
like some of the highlights of this case that stood out for you.
Part of it first of all, this movie, obviously, she being accused of killing her boyfriend, but that is the whole point of it is this man, John O'Keefe, he lost his life. And I'm hoping people take away from this movie, almost looking at it like a tribute to his life, because there's so much information on Karen Reed on the internet, but there's not a lot about John O'Keefe. And
That's
he was
actually a great point.
Yeah.
he was a really good man. I mean, he took over his sister's kids because he lost his sister.
Oh, wow.
And everything I've read about him, which is not a lot, has been.
That is a great point, right? We end up focusing on her so much that you forget
Yeah.
the victim in this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What? What the fuck is going on in this interview? We forget the victim. People forget the victim. What? That the focus is so much on her? Well, yeah, she's fucking on trial and fighting for her life and fighting back corruption to get to the answers of finding out what happened to John O'Keefe. I mean, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Was there anything else that surprised you as you were doing your own deep dive and took this on?
Oh
Not
boy.
necessarily surprised, but everything was just so interesting. Like it was almost like, you're reading a book. It's like a page turner. It
Right.
was just, there's so much information and so many different ways and navigations. It's just, there's a lot out there, and it just is very, I can see why people formed it.
Yeah,
They
that's
would say life is stranger than fiction.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It makes a good point right here. I didn't even just think about this. Kind of went over my head, but look, Not Today Satan says, please read the name of the movie. The name of the movie is Accused, the Karen Reed story. Bum.
It is very true. What did you do to prepare to be Karen?
I had 72 hours. So
Yeah, that's
I
not a lot of prep time.
immersed myself and flooded myself with as much information as possible. But it was also a good thing because as an actor, sometimes we get in our heads.
Sure.
And I did not have time to think, to get in my head. Like I just had to
You just had to
basically
do it.
flood myself with information and then trust myself and let it go and trust the crew. And we had a wonderful director, Linda Lisa Hayter. She was fantastic, and I couldn't have done this without.
And that's why it's very important, that we continue the fight for Karen Reed in her civil cases. And I'm actually going to be having a video about that coming out really soon. I've been working on getting the video together. I'm going to be meeting with my video editor. I need to start doing the voiceovers for it, but I'm hoping to complete that in about a week or two and get that out. Because helping Karen continue her civil fight in her civil battles are going to get us one step closer to getting more answers as to what happened to John O'Keefe. And that's why we've made that very, very important. Okay, let's keep playing here.
And our crew was amazing. So just trust and hope that, everything happens for a reason. And I was also sick when we started, but it kind of lended to it.
You had a rough something.
Yeah. But she's like, but it worked out.
Absolutely.
Well, Karen was run down, I think, too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That
okay,
might have put you
let's go
right in
with
the
it.
right space. Well, we can't wait to see the full movie.
Oh, thank you.
I actually got a little sneak peek.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm
Okay.
just telling you, it's good.
I'm in it. I can't wait to see it.
Lifetime's original movie, Accused, the Karen Reed story, premieres tomorrow night. And people can tune in at what time?
8, 7 Central.
I can't wait. All right. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, let's go over to this interview here. Let's do. Okay. Excuse me. I want to take that down. Let's go over here. Let's go here. I'm just going to share my screen. Come on, StreamYard. Just give us the ability to queue multiple tabs. Please. I've been saying this for years since I've been using this platform. It's very fun. Hold on. I gotta share my screen. I gotta unclick it. I gotta click on the new stream. Then I gotta share. Just let us queue multiple tabs. I love all the great things that you've put into this platform. But come on, StreamYard. Can we fucking just get this done? All right, here we go.
Today on Tamron Hall, true crime making headlines. A gripping new movie inspired by the Karen Reed case.
Karen Reed, you have the right to remain silent.
The story that shook the nation when she was charged and later acquitted of the murder of her Boston police officer boyfriend. Actress Katie Cassidy. What was the hardest part of capturing Karen? And the reporter who covered the case.
It doesn't really seem like this case is over. It's over in terms of the verdict on her guilt or innocence, but not over in terms of what they are each pursuing.
Plus, a stunning break in a 34-year-old murder case for the daughter who waited decades. How did it feel when you were contacted?
I was very shocked and I couldn't believe it. And I walked into the office and there were several detectives that stood up all at once. And I kind of...
Have a sit down. Thank you for joining wherever you are. So, it's no secret. I've done crime for 30 years of covering some of the biggest cases in the world, from deadline crime to my many years of reporting in local news. And I can tell you this, in true crime, the smallest detail can change everything. And today we're bringing you an hour of stories where one moment, one decision, or one overlooked clue changed the course of lives forever. These are cases that captured national attention, raise hard questions, and remind us why the search for truth does not end when the headlines fade. We are starting with a case that divided the country, even some people say the world, from the very beginning. It is the case, I know you know it, Karen Reed, a story that has remained to.
Did you hear the people in the audience? They went, ah. Did you hear that? The fucking audience. Ah. I'm like, do these people watch trial? Did they watch any of the trial? Did they see what happened to Karen? Did they see the things that she had to go through for almost 4 years? Did you hear the listen to the crowd? They go, ah.
Captured national attention, raise hard questions, and remind us why the search for truth does not end when the headlines fade. We are starting with a case that divided the country, even some people say the world, from the very beginning. It is the case, I know you know it, Karen Reed, a story that has remained to right now in the headlines for the past 4 years. It's went on. In the early morning hours of January 2022, during a snowstorm outside Boston, Karen Reed discovered her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, outside the home of a fellow officer. John was unresponsive. He'd suffered severe head injuries and hypothermia and later died at the hospital. Now, within days, Karen Reed was arrested and named the prime suspect in his death. Prosecutors
Yeah,
argued
probably had nothing to do with like going to knock on a door and going, "Hey, I know there's a bunch of people in here last night. Can we talk to all of you? Can we look around?"
she struck him
Oh
with
my
her
God.
car. Her defense team claims something very different. They say John was killed inside the home and dragged outside, and that Karen was framed. Two high-profile trials followed, sparking protests, passionate supporters, fierce critics on both sides. And this past summer, Karen Reed was acquitted of all murder charges. Now the story
And the people,
is going to be told in a new
in the audience,
Lifetime series called Accused, the Karen Reed story, starring actress Katie Cassidy. Take a look.
Just behind me is the location of the death of Boston police officer John O'Keefe.
Karen Reed, you have the right to remain silent.
I loved this man.
Karen, did you kill John O'Keefe? Karen Reed had nothing to do with it.
It just feels like this whole town is turning on me.
She got drunk, she hit him, she left him to die.
They all have their minds made up.
We're trying to fit the evidence to the narrative they already decided on.
That's outrageous. She did not run him over.
It's like I was the only suspect.
No matter how long it takes, no matter how long they keep trying, we will not stop fighting.
Everybody's so damn sure. Burn me at the stake already.
Tam fam, please.
That accents, God. Alexander, thank you so much. So more people can join our watch party to spread the truth. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, members, for being here. Thank you, moderators, for being here. We got about 20 minutes from the start of the show. I'll be dropping that link here in a minute. You guys can transfer over and watch with us for the full 2 hours and partake in the chat. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I will do my best to do very minimal talking. We'll talk during commercials. All right, here we go.
Welcome, Katie Cassidy, to our show. How familiar were you with Karen Reed's case when you took the role?
I actually was not familiar.
Which I guess is a good thing in a way if you're playing or portraying someone, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I do wish I would have had more time because it was so quick, the turnaround from when Lifetime came to me, and then 3 days later we were filming. But everybody I knew about the case.
And everyone had an opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How did you start to dive into this character?
I hit Google. I also read the script, and I was definitely interested, and I was intrigued by the story itself.
What did you find intriguing about it?
Well, the America's obsession with this story, and just curiosity as to what the true story is. And I always say there's 3 sides to every story, and in this case, it's Karen's side, cop side, and then the truth. So
the truth was this: Karen Reed was acquitted. That's the truth. That's the bottom line in this. There's no three stories anymore. There's no 3 sides to a story. Karen was acquitted. I mean, I think people in the media business and pump these movies out tend to forget that. If you absorbed all the court documents and you looked at everything and you did Google searches, that's going to be the thing that comes up. She was acquitted. Hoy, bye-bye.
A deep dive. I was shooting probably 72 hours later after I got the phone call.
So 72 hours after you dug into the case, because it is such a complicated, and it's fraught with, first of all, the fact that the details are truly murky. There's no eyewitness. There is no smoking gun,
there were
some
witnesses.
might say, which is why
We know who they
she
were.
was allowed to go home free.
I think so too,
much,
Nan.
It was interesting because when I was doing research, there was so much information about Karen Reed on the internet, and not that much information about the man who lost his life, John O'Keefe.
There was.
So I also felt like it was almost, this movie was a tribute to his life in a way.
Oh, that's a beautiful way to put it, because obviously her name is in the headlines, and you know, I've covered crime for many, many years. I talked to victims and their families, and they say the bad person gets the headline, and people forget that there was a loving person behind.
That is the most terrible fucking quote that I've heard during this interview. And I pointed that out in a tweet the other day, maybe 2 days ago. or a day ago when I saw this preview. You know, the bad person always gets the headline. What?
Minded. I think that's a brilliant way to bring it up because I had the pleasure of interviewing your father, David Cassidy, many years ago when I was in local news. And I know that family meant so much to him and means so much to you. And at the core of this is families torn apart.
Yes, and to your
Exactly.
point, John O'Keefe, I mean, he took over his sister's parent or his sister's kids
Yeah.
because he lost his sister. And so, I mean, from everything that I've read, he seems like he was a really wonderful man.
Just days after John O'Keefe's death, Karen was arrested and charged. We have a clip from that moment. Let's play it.
It's a minute from the movie, not from real life. That's straight.
David, I have to know him.
Oh boy.
So that I can't even that as an actor playing like in that scene, I felt so many emotions. It was so overwhelming. And I couldn't imagine.
You're trembling now.
I know what she went through. I couldn't imagine I mean, that whole situation is just very scary.
How did you fight the urge to?
Yeah, you know what's scary about it is that you've been framed for murder and you have, you know, multiple law enforcement agency, multiple Massachusetts state troopers and local cops knocking at your door to arrest you and try to put you away for the rest of your life for a murder that you did not commit. That's what's scary. That's what you should feel in that moment, playing as an actress in that moment.
Not pick a side in this, because I know that in the research that I've done with what you've worked on here is that you try to stay as neutral as possible.
Right. So for me, as I'm taking on this character, which by the way, we just wrapped in November.
Yeah.
And I really 100%, I flooded myself with information as much as I could. And like I said, I felt like almost a detective myself, but I was playing her. So I had to believe what she believed.
You had to believe what she believed.
Yeah. And as far, even now.
I had to believe what she believed. Okay. Which was the truth. But then you play this neutrality thing in these interviews. Ay.
Because it was such a
Just
short time ago.
again,
This whole thing happened so quickly. I'm still like decompressing after I come out of a character. It takes time.
I won't ask you your opinion, but do you have one?
I think again, it's like a hard thing to process. I think that playing her for it was a little over a month, and believing what she believed, and then rapping and trying to decompress. I'm still processing. I'm still processing.
So you still don't know what you believe about her.
Right.
That's fascinating.
It's all.
I fucking hate this neutral stance that these people play. And it just sounds very anti to me. It sounds very anti, it's very neutral with an anti flavor to it.
Like a different, when you portray someone and then to go back to being myself and grounding myself and going through the process.
Thank you, NH, dude. Appreciate that. Welcome, new members. Did we catch anybody? Did we catch anybody tonight lurking? Let's look. Space Coast, new member. Let's see. Jenny, new member. Kayla, new member. Java Time, new member. Did I catch anybody? Rebecca, new member. So we didn't catch anybody right now. We didn't catch anybody. But I do know, I'll tell you, I do know who my level 6 member is on this channel. Supporting me $100 a month. $100 a month, Aglera. Thank you. Thank you so much for your $100 membership. And all those level 6 member videos that I've been sending you, I hope that you're playing them to your members behind your paywall. See, that's the difference here on the LTL Media channel, is that I don't play the stream and say, okay, I'm going to change over to members only, to try to force people to panhandle people into memberships to go over and watch all your garbage that you spew behind your fucking paywall. This is what you do to people. That's a true sign of a grifter, that you start your streams and then, half an hour in, when you said, oh, I got to change over to members only, You force people into memberships to watch your content. You're a fucking grifter. You're a true grifter. And tonight, I know you're doing a Karen Reed watch party where you fucking don't care about Karen, and you said tons of things about Karen leading up to this, tons of negative things about Karen leading up to this. But all of a sudden, you're the big hero, and you're going to jump back into it because you have no fucking content. You got zero content. But anyway, let's continue with the interview. And I hope you're watching, Willie. $100 a month you paid me. You're my paid bitch. You are my paid bitch. You paid me. You called me a bitch on the JFK show. I waited and I got you. You paid me. You paid me for my content. $100. And I love it. I love it. So thank you for your money. I got it. All right, let's play this other interview, and then I'm going to drop the link, and we can get ready and get everybody signed up and ready to go. All right, here we go.
They did everything that could have been done.
How did it happen? I mean, did I hit him? Could I have hit him?
Welcome back. That was a clip from.
All right, let's do this before I forget. Here is the link. Here is the link to get into the show tonight. Click that link. You can click it now, or you can click it when I end here in a couple of minutes, and get subbed up, get registered up. It's free to register. We're going to go behind this paywall, not paywall, I'm sorry, behind this wall. And we're going to watch the show tonight. So it's free to get in. It's going to ask you for your name, last name, and email. You don't have to use, a real name. What you can do is just sign up with your screen name if you want to do that. I think you will have to enter an email address to get in, but that's how you get in. So I'm going to drop the link again. You can click into this link. Oh, not that one. Let's see. That one's the wrong one. Yep. You can click into this link here. I'm going to drop it again. Get registered. Get signed up. Now, the way that it's going to go is this. We'll go behind the wall, the share wall. We can get in there. We'll be able to watch the stream. Now, I can't guarantee if it's going to allow me to do the whole thing. I've done them in the past. It's worked out. But, and that's, so we'll go over there and check it out in a couple of minutes. But you can get registered, signed in, and that's the link again. All right, let's play here a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to take like a 5-minute break, and then we'll get in there and get registered and ready to go.
Accused, the Karen Reed story, new Lifetime movie revisiting one of the most talked about murder cases in recent memory. Back with us is Katie Cassidy, who portrays Karen Reed in the movie, along with investigative reporter Olivia Rubin, who covered the case for ABC News. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course. What is it about this case? Even now, when her name comes up, somebody has an opinion. And it usually is one that elicits like a passionate opinion.
I mean, you guys talked about it. There was so much division over how people viewed this case. And remember, this was a case that had cameras in the courtroom, so people could see the evidence for themselves. They could see the presentations for themselves. They could chew on it themselves. And they came away with different opinions. Even the jury, the first time around, came away, with different opinions. It was a mistrial. Ultimately, they did decide that she was not guilty of these trials. But the people who were watching, I think, really had their own opinions and really had different views on the evidence.
Because you don't see this outside of every case. These are real pictures. This is not from the Lifetime film. These are people who stopped whatever they were doing, spending time with their families, going to work to stand outside of the courthouse.
I think it also relates to partially what Karen Reed was alleging happened here. It wasn't just, guilty versus not guilty. She didn't just say that she was innocent. As she said that she was the victim of something more sinister, that she was the victim of a cover up here. And there's a moment in one of the trials where she's asked, if you had to sum up the prosecution's case in what word, what would you say?
Click that link. We're going to stay live for about 4 more minutes. Click that link. I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and then we'll queue up in the other chat. So click that link, get Get registered. I've never seen her before either. It's so funny. I know. I was thinking that too. I'm like, who is this? I've never seen this person before. Here we go.
And she said unjust. And it felt like maybe some of her supporters really clung on to that idea of, a miscarriage of justice. And
We're
that
gonna have
sort
some
of
fun. We're gonna
possibly
watch this
propelled some
tonight
of them.
together. And you
I
guys
know
will
a
be
key
able to
piece of
chat. There'll be a
evidence was the
chat in there.
broken tail light in Karen's car. Take us through this and why this was so significant.
The taillight's very significant because there was really no real eyewitness here, right? So the taillight sort of helped to tell the story for prosecutors. They said that
Thank
the
you,
taillight
Alexandra.
broke when they claimed that Karen backed up her SUV into John O'Keefe. They claimed that there were pieces of taillight found at the scene. They claimed that there were pieces of taillight found possibly on John O'Keefe's clothing. And that was sort of a big piece of evidence for them. But again, as everything was debated in this case, the defense said that's not actually what happened. They said that the taillight was broken, and this is on camera, when Karen at another time.
We got 250 people registered right now to watch. Let's flood the room. Let's get like 500 people in there. Let's see. Thank you so much, Boda. Thank you so much. Little donation to help offset your costs. Don't worry about it. It's no problem. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. Everybody says I'm in. I'm in with the link. Great. I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna just back out of this for now. We'll just kind of hang out here, get people registered. Come watch the stream with us. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna try to do as much minimal talking as I can during the show, but we'll talk a lot during the commercials, of course. Link is right there. I just dropped it again. That is the link. Click sub up, and it's going to be fun. Cool. Message friends to join. Awesome. It's going to be great. How many people we have registered so far? We have 287 people. Come on, it's free to do it. It's free. Get in there. We're going to hang out. And especially for people that don't have a provider, that don't have access to it. That's why I wanted to do this. Some people might not have access to this in their area. I found a way to do it. And I've done this in the past, and it's worked out really well. We've had a lot of fun with it. And it'll be fun. So I'm going to drop the link again. And I'm going to turn this stream off in a couple minutes, and then we'll switch over to that other stream. 307 people ready to go on the other stream. Great. It's free. Come on in, hang out. Again, I can't guarantee that the AI might not, the AI might pick it up and it might spit us out and that's it. But we'll try. We'll give it a whirl. I've done it in the past. It's worked really well. And we've gotten through it. Yeah, of course. I want everybody to come hang out. Where is the link? I'm going to drop it again. It's the StreamYard link. I just dropped it in the chat. And we'll go about another minute, and then I'm going to turn this off, and I'll see you guys over there in about 5 minutes. Yeah, of course. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. We'll give it a whirl. We'll see what happens. We'll try it out. You're so welcome. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I have some new videos coming out pretty soon. And StreamYard link is there to get into our watch party. Click on that link. How many people we get subbed up? 355 people signed up. I think we can do better than that. Let's get like 400 in the next minute before I shut down. I love it. Love the anticipation. I'm curious to see how this is going to turn out. It could be a fucking walking disaster, or it could be great. I think it's going to land. I don't have high expectations at all. I don't have high expectations, but sometimes that's the best way to go into it, and then you're surprised. So I'm going to drop the link one more time right here, and we'll get ready. And we're looking at 379 people so far. All right, I'm going to head over. The link has been dropped a million times in this chat. Click on the link, get subbed up, and I'll see you guys over there in a couple of minutes, and we'll get ready to watch this 2-hour special tonight on Lifetime. The Karen Reed story. So I'll see you guys over there in a couple minutes. I'm going to drop it one more time. Here we go. Let's go. Let's check this thing out. We'll see what's going to happen. I don't know. It might be a disaster. It could really surprise us. All right, everybody. I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Bye.